So let's talk briefly about the package manager for Rust. Now, as we know, the package manager is Cargo. So there's a few more options that we have when it comes to working with Cargo. Now, we're not going to use this throughout our course. Like I said, we're going to use the IDE for our development, build and run purposes, but it's good to know that Cargo is there if you need it, and especially that the IDE does rely behind the scenes on Cargo to build and run our code, right? So what else can we do with Cargo? So of course we know that Cargo new creates a new project, and here we need to specify the name of the project that we want. So here, for example, when we create Cargo new my project, we have this kind of structure that Cargo gives us, right? So what else can we do? Well, we can build our project. So building basically compiles our code into machine runnable code, right? So if we try, we have a hello world here. So if we try Cargo build, we need to go into the project. So I'm going to try Cargo build now. Okay, and there we go. We have a project that is already built. Okay, so this allows us to run the code. So either we can go and search manually for the file that we need to run, which will be under the source folder, or we can use Cargo to do that. So for instance, we have Cargo run, which will run our code. So if I go to my terminal here, I go Cargo run, that will just run our code and we get the hello world message here. Okay, so there's a few more options as well. We have Cargo clean. So when your project gets a bit larger, right, you will have a lot of artifacts, a lot of code that Cargo builds that kind of tends to accumulate over time, right? So Cargo clean will simply clean everything and just leave your source code, and then you can rebuild your project. And that's useful sometimes for debugging. Sometimes your project might have some issues, so it's a good idea to clean your project from time to time. Next, we have Cargo check, which checks your project to make sure that there are no kind of development errors, compilation errors, and so on. And you have Cargo doc, which basically generates the documentation for your project. So like I said, there are a few different options that you have with Cargo. If you are working on, let's say, a large-scale project that needs, for instance, continuous integration or automatic build, then you would need to know all these commands to use them in a command line. But for the purposes of our course, we are going to build everything in the IDE.